Right.
There is mental health struggles. There are issues of low engagement. People aren't engaged with their work. They go there because they have to earn a living. There's an experience of bullying. There's a lot of communication around bullying and trying to get rid of that. The inequalities that exist, that people feel within the opportunities within work and everything else. So, you know, a lot of people feel dissatisfied with their work experience. And it's, you know, it isn't meeting basic human needs beyond just earning money. That's the kind of feeling. Is that your experience as well when you've been you know, working with these big agencies? Are they aware that there's a morale issue, there's an engagement issue, and there's a lack of alignment and resonance between people working together?
I think these are absolutely real problems, and I think the big problem really is that the leaders of a lot of organisations are not aware of these things. They are consequences of the way the business is run. They're consequences of the way the leadership plays their role, and they just sort of like, oh, there's a I think it's changing. I'd like to hope it's changing, but I think in too many workplaces it isn't. But there's this sense of, oh, come on, what's wrong with them? Get on with it. You know, just come on, just do your job. And it sort of ignores the fact that these are human beings, that they have emotions. You can't just talk to someone in a certain way and imagine that they're just a blank sheet, that they will just take it. No, you know, for every action, there's a reaction. If you are rude to someone, they will feel it in their body. If you're bullying someone, they will feel it and they will pull away. And so, you know, the next time you need someone to go an extra, you know, 5 minutes to finish a job, they might not do it. Not because they're being resentful or something, but maybe they're scared, maybe they're fearful. I don't know. You know, a lot of these cultures exist which are so toxic to achieving great outcomes for the business, because often the leadership, and when I say leadership, it doesn't mean necessarily the CEO. It means, you know, a team leader could be at a different point in the hierarchy of the organisation, but leading a team that doesn't inspire that team to work together in a good way, and puts fear and, you know, all sorts of things into the equation through their behaviour. I think it's hugely common, but I also think that it's not so difficult to overcome, as I've seen from my experience. If you get in there and you talk to people about these issues, most people are good. They don't see the consequences of their actions a lot of the time. They're just doing their job, and they think, you know, I'm turning up, I'm doing what I need to do, I'm leading this motley crew of people. They don't understand the consequences of their actions. And on the environmental side, when Greenpeace, for example, would campaign against a company, not only, you know, you're linked to deforestation, you're causing human rights problems, you're causing species loss and things like that. It was a big shock to them. These companies thought they were doing great work, and their first reaction is denial. And I think it's the same at a human level. You know, if you're causing, the way you are as a leader could be causing mental health struggles for the people you're working with. People don't often see it because, you know, they're not trained to see it. They're not open to that sensitivity. So I think, you know, what we're talking about here is creating a culture, you know, and there it is, the next point, need for supportive culture, creating a culture where people feel supported to be themselves and they can turn up absolutely truly as who they are, and that's welcomed, it's encouraged, in fact, it's inspiring, and then that culture just, boom, thrives and flourishes. So that's what I've seen. I've seen those massive transformations when the same leader, and it doesn't, and I mean, as I said before, not just, when I say leader, we don't necessarily talk about CEOs, but people in leadership positions through an organisation can embrace this culture of that more balance between, you know, bringing in the emotional and the spiritual. It gives people permission to be who they are. The whole thing just takes off. The individuals thrive and the organisations thrive.